Hello. Hey, everyone. It's Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're here again for another week. My name is Becky Schnekser. I am a kindergarten through grade 5 science educator explorer in Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States. And as we all find ourselves in this very, very interesting time in education with remote or digital learning, however you are referencing your current educational situation, it is so easy to become overwhelmed with resources or lack of resources or support or lack of support or anywhere in between. This is such an interesting time to be in education. And as I started to feel overwhelmed or underwhelmed or over supported or under supported, I kept thinking about how my friends around the world must be feeling. I know we're all going through these ins and outs of feeling super confident or feeling not so confident or a little bit on the edge about our current situation. And we're worried about so many things. We're worried about ourselves, our students, what education is eventually going to look like. Just so many different things to be worried about, to be stressed about. And I just wanted to provide every Friday just a little snippet, something that you can use in your classroom, no matter what level of students, what subject area that you teach, or if you're a generalist and you teach across multiple subjects. I wanted to just give just a little bite-sized snippet of something to make you feel like, yeah, I can try this new thing, or, oh man, I can use this little idea and remix it for my classroom situation. So it doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum, how many years of experience you have, how comfortable you are with certain teaching strategies. I'm hoping to just give you a little taste of something that you can take with you and turn around and use on Monday, because today's Friday. So hopefully you have the weekend off. You have your Saturday and your Sunday, and then you hit the ground or the internet running again on Monday. And the idea that I throw out there for you can be turned into something you can use on Monday. Maybe you use it exactly the way that I show you, or maybe it sparks or inspires you to do something different with it, or do something completely different based on what I show you. So this week, I'm actually going to show you something that I literally just learned or was exposed to, inspired by just a day or so ago. So I'm even super, super new to this idea, but it sparked an interest in me. It sparked some curiosity. And so I wanted to start trying it out myself and then throwing it out to you, because it might be something you use, or it might just spark a little idea for you to turn around and use in your educational arena. So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what I've been working on. And then if you are joining me live, you can chat in the live chat on YouTube. Ask any questions along the way. I will try and keep tabs on all of that as we go, which is a little bit difficult. I'm by myself this week, so I don't have any partners in crime to help me keep track of all the comments, but I'm going to do the best that I can, because that's what we do as educators. All right, so let me show you what I just learned about and what I have just started to dabble in, which is super, super exciting. So let's take a look. All right, you're going to see a ton of tabs open because I want to show you a couple different things, a couple different ideas, a couple different ways that I'm using this idea. So earlier in the week, I was inspired by this video by Thomas Blakemore, who is an educator in Dubai. And so the title of his video is Interactive Bitmoji Classroom Tutorial. Now that's a whole lot. There's a lot going on there, and the idea can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be or you need it to be. So that's the beauty of this new idea that I want to show you. So basically, the idea is you create an interactive virtual classroom that links your students to different resources or different activities that you would like for them to engage in. So I'm going to show you the ones that I've started creating, and then I'm going to show you and give you a little more information about what Thomas Blakemore has kind of thrown out for you. I've put the link to his video in the description of this live feed. So you can take a look at his entire video. It has a lot of different ideas embedded in it. So it's actually, his video is super rich in information and resources. And you take what you want from it to use on your own. You could take it all if you want, if you're ready for that, or just little pieces that spark curiosity or inspiration for you. So let me show you. You're going to get a little bit of a better idea of what this all means once you see it in action. So his classroom, actually, let me go back to his video. Okay, so if we're taking a look at his video, this is his virtual classroom, one of his virtual classroom setups. So right here, let's just make this real big so you can see it on my entire screen. Okay, so this is just, I froze his video. This is his virtual classroom. And all of these things, like Road Doll, his students are reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory right now. So this is a link to a PDF of the book. Right? So his students at home might have a hard copy of the book, or perhaps they don't. So he's provided that resource for them. If you've heard of Epic, that's a really cool resource for reading. There's tons of stories on all types of reading levels embedded in this website. It can read to you if you want a story read to you, or you can read it on your own, or you can do a combination. I know that my own 2 kids use this as a resource from their educator as well. But this little icon here is an interactive hyperlink. So you can click on it and go right to that resource. Right here, he has his morning message. So he has a morning routine of things that he has his students do. And that's linked right here where it says good morning on the whiteboard. The clock has something else embedded in it. And all of these, he has these little screens here that have other resources just hyperlinked in this. So he shares it with them, his students, on Google Classroom, this slide, view only, so they can't mess with it, but they can click on the links and go to the resources that they need to use at a particular time. I believe, now that I'm talking about this, I believe in the clock, it's in their schedule is embedded there, which I thought was pretty clever once they know kind of the routine of this virtual classroom. Super, super helpful. He also embeds his bitmoji here, which is really cool. If you have a bitmoji, I can show you. I've put some of those in mine as well. Now, my situation is a little bit different than Thomas's because I teach more than one grade level. So when I was wrapping my head around, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Or what would be the best way for me to do this? I just started making a bunch of different classrooms. So I'm thinking that I'm going to use this by grade level. So each grade level is going to have their own classroom. It's going to look very different from the others. And that way I know that I'm sharing the right information with the right grade level, and it's engaging for their content. So you'll see on my example here, this is one. And there's a bear, there's mountains, my Bitmojis up here. I have a little campsite and a fire. And what I'm going to be using this one for are my kindergartners. And we're going to be using a resource that I use in person and online is Explore Magazine for kids. So in this picture, I'm going to take the student login because I won't be able to give them a physical magazine. They're going to have to access this resource online. So I'm going to copy the link here. I just highlighted it and I'm on a Mac, so it's Command C to copy. And I am going to embed it with this picture of the bear. So I click on the picture of the bear. And by the way, I'm going to backtrack and show you how to build one of these from a blank slide. So I've already started building mine. So you're going to see all these components already here. But I'm going to backtrack in a minute, I promise, and I'll show you how to build this from a blank slideshow. So I already have this brown bear in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on it. I can do a couple things. I can right click or 2-finger click since I'm on a Mac, or I can go up here and press Insert Link. Okay. And then I'm going to Command V. I'm going to paste my link in there and press apply. So now my students, when they access this bear is going to have that link embedded. So I'm either going to put a label on the bear that says Explorer Magazine, or I'm going to have something in the speaker notes maybe that says the bear is Explorer Magazine and label it that way. I haven't quite decided how I want to do that yet. So We'll see. It's a work in progress, right? So now that's all I'm going to do on this one right now. I know that on my Bitmoji, I'm going to have my Bitmoji hidden in all of my classrooms as kind of a fun. It's going to be, if you're familiar in the gaming world, they call them Easter eggs. It's going to be something hidden there that I don't tell them is there. So if they get curious and they start clicking around, they're going to find things for funsies that I've hidden in there, little Easter eggs for them to find along the way. So that's one of my classrooms. I'm going to close that one so we can get rid of some of these tabs. This is another one. This one looks more like a not a traditional classroom, but as traditional of a classroom as I get. If you ever have the chance to see pictures or come to my lab, my classroom at school, it looks like a jungle because we've created it into a jungle. We have vines hanging from the ceiling. We have blue morpho butterflies that we've created with counter shading hanging from the ceiling. We have some stuffed animals, sea turtles, and snakes, and all kinds of things hanging from the ceiling to make it just feel like you're immersed into science when you walk into my room. So when I was creating this one, I was thinking about my second graders in the way that I already have my classroom set up for them. So they study biomes and they focus on South America and the rainforest. So in this classroom, you can see there's tons. I've spent a little more time on this one. There are a ton of interactive components here. So I want to embed this resource about plants of the rainforest. So I copy that link and I'm going to add it to this vine because that vine is a plant. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to embed. So this time I did a 2-finger click here, but I don't see link. So I'm going to go back and press insert link, or I could have done Command K to insert a link. I'm going to put it in there. So now when they click on the plant, it's going to take them to that resource about plants in South America. All right, so this one, I think this is my favorite so far because just all the different pieces that I have in this classroom. So we'll get rid of that one. This is the third one that I've been working on for my first graders who study classification of insects. And so I have different things here. This background is just an outdoor background, and I found a bunch of animals to put in there, but you'll see in every single one of my classrooms, there's something that stays the same no matter what. I've got my Bitmoji, and I've got my backpack, as Dora says, because the theme of my class is always expedition and field science. So all of my classes are teams, they're field expedition teams. And so we always have these different ideas that we're going outside, and we go outside as much as we can, and I always have my backpack that we put our tools in, and it depends on what we're studying what tools are in the backpack. So I thought that was something, as we're in this digital setting now, it'd be something that is familiar to them, and they would see it and go, expedition, we're still going on expeditions even though we're in a remote classroom. So super fun. So that's another example. I just had a couple things that I could embed in there, but I think we've got the hang of embedding links into our virtual classrooms. Okay, and of course, this is Thomas Blakemore's video. So what does this look like from the beginning? So you guys are gonna help me start building one of my interactive virtual classrooms for first grade. Now, first grade finished doing their insect study, which you saw that little remote classroom that I was playing with a little bit with different things that have to do with insects. Now we're blasting off into space. So when I open, so I want to think about that as I'm building this interactive classroom, a space theme. What ideas, what things can I embed in this classroom, images that have to do with space and out of this world, kind of those things. So here is a new Google slideshow. See, untitled presentation. I literally just opened it. I don't need themes. I don't need any of these text boxes. We're going to get rid of all of that because we don't need it. We'll go ahead and we can name this. I'm going to call it Virtual Classroom Space. So I remember this is the one that has a space theme. So next year when we get to space, I'm already going to have this ready to go. I might have more resources to embed. I might have a different idea of some graphics I want to put in there, but it's already there for you. That's the beauty of this. It takes a little bit to set it up, but then once it's there, you're ready to go. It's just tweaking from there, which is super, super cool. I love resources like this that you can reuse and just tweak to fit the needs of your students that particular year or that particular day or that particular class, right? Because from class to class, your classes aren't the same. From student to student, they're not the same. Definitely from year to year, your classes aren't the same. Maybe the content is the same, but the students are different. Their interest, their skills, their curiosity is going to take them in different places. So let's take a look at how to make the background. So you're going to click right here, background, and I want to choose an image. Now, I don't have any fancy photos already saved or personal photos of mine that are space related. So I'm going to go ahead, Google image search, and I am going to write space. Easy enough. And we'll see what pops up. And I can see if there's something on here that I really, really like. And I can choose that. Now, if you want to do just a general room space, so it just looks like a classroom, you're going to search here, walls and floor. And then let's see, ooh, see all these that pop up and you can decide. You can see this is the one that I used earlier, right? But you can see, which one do I like? Or if you want to take away and not make this plural, you could say wall and floor and just see if anything else differently comes out. Ooh, some toilets if you want that to be your background, go for it. But you just go through and you see what strikes your fancy. That one looks pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to stick with my other, I'm going to go back and do space, but that's how you look for, and you get those blank room backgrounds. You just put wall and floor, and then you can scroll through, see what's there. What do you like? I want to stick with space. So I'm going to go back to space. And this one is kind of 3D on the edge of the earth. I like them to look like they have depth to them, kind of like those wall and floor photos feel like they have depth to them. So these are pretty cool. Oh, there's lots of different ones. So let's go up. This one caught my eye first. So let's just go with it. It's got enough to it in the image, but it also leaves some space for me to add my own pizzazz in there. So, oh, they already have an astronaut, which is great. So the background just hangs out there. I want to add my sleeping in space video. I generally show this in class in person with my students, but then I always let my students see these resources again on their own. They want to revisit it 500 times, revisit 500 times. They want to share it with their parents because they're like so excited, or they want to share it with their friends or their neighbors. Then I make it accessible to them. So I'm going to decide what picture I want to put in here. So there's a couple ways you can insert pictures. You can do insert, image, search the web, or the shortcut right here on the toolbar looks like an image, insert image, search the web. Either way is going to work. So I want to search for, let's just put, let's put Mars. And we can say, ooh, I like this one. Or you might want to add the word transparent behind it, Mars transparent, and I'll show you why in just a second. This is going to let me just get a picture of Mars, like this one has a transparent background. So when I put it into my classroom space here, it's just Mars. Do you see how even though the picture has this big square around it, that's the edge of the picture, but it's clear, it's transparent. So that's why I like transparent photos, so that now, ooh, this just looks like it's floating in space, right? That's Mars. I can make it as big or as small as I want it. I can put it wherever I want it to go. Maybe I want it kind of up here in the corner. And what else might we add? Let's think of space, comets, maybe asteroids. So I'm going to search for asteroid transparent. Boom. Let's see what pops up. And sometimes you get some great stuff. This is actually a comet, even though I searched for asteroid. That's fine. Let's do a comet. This would be more accurate for an asteroid. So just like when you Google search something, oh, this doesn't have a transparent background. Just like when you Google search something, not all of the results are going to be accurate, right? This one's not accurate. It also doesn't have a transparent background. See how this box behind it is white? I don't like that. So it's mine. It's my creation. I'm going to be as picky as I want. You might not care about transparent backgrounds, but I do. So I'm going to be super picky. Let's see if this asteroid has a transparent background. Yes, it does. So I'm going to resize this because asteroids are generally going to be smaller than planets, not always, but generally. So I'm going to put this and it's going to be, coming towards Earth. Okay, so that's how you add all of those different things. If you have that traditional classroom set up where it has floors and walls, you can Google image search. You can see in a lot of them, they have furniture, right? So you could write couch, transparent, and let's see. Ooh, you can see which one you like. And you can put it in there. Okay. You know what? Just for funsies, let's put a couch in space. I like this one. Let's see. There we go. Put a couch. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. We can, it's in space, so it can be a little bit crooked, kind of floating around. There we go. All right, and then you can always change the colors of these if you go to format options. So let me show you. I 2-finger clicked, or if you're on a PC, you're going to do a right click on this. So I'm doing 2 fingers because I'm on a Mac. Format options. And what you're looking for is recolor. And you can see if you want your couch or whatever it is to be a different color. Ooh, maybe I like it that color. Or maybe I want it to be yellow. I don't really like that. So there's tons of options that you can do. That was kind of a funky color. You can leave it in there like that. So tons and tons of stuff that you can possibly do. I like the idea of a bitmoji. I have a bitmoji. If you don't, on your phone, if you download the Bitmoji app, or if you have Snapchat, you might already have a bitmoji, but you can also in Google Chrome add it as an extension, and all those directions are in Thomas's video. I don't want to take up too much time showing you that, but I can find my bitmoji, which is really, really cool. And you can say something like, I've already used one that's sitting down, right? So I think I want myself, you know what? I don't want myself sitting down. I'm going to put myself just kind of hanging out in space, because why not? So if you type in pose, POSE, then all kinds of different options come in. I like this one. So I can drag it over into space, and it has a transparent background, which is super fun. So I'm going to be over here. You know what? I want to be upside down. So I'm going to just go kind of upside down and crookedy. There we go. I'll be under the asteroid. There you go. So there's all kinds of things you do. If you get the sitting one, let me put the sitting one in there just so I can show you one more thing before I just let you kind of go and have fun with this. If I want to be sitting on the couch, you can see how I'm kind of not really, well, it could work this way, but I'm not really like facing the right way. If you want your image, this works for any image. If you want yourself kind of, all right, I want to flip it the other way. If you go to format options, should be size and rotation. Let's see. You can flip right here. It's going to flip me facing the other way. Or if you 2-finger click, if you're on a Mac, right click if you're on a PC, you can do the same thing. But if you go to rotate and you flip horizontally, that's side to side like this, flip vertically, what is that going to do? Right? It's going to flip me upside down. Okay, so I can, if I know for sure that's what I want to do. Okay, now I'm upside down and sitting. So that is really kind of the basis of what I wanted to show you really, really quick. There's so many things. This is a resource that I am going to embed in that little classroom of space, but there's all kinds of things that you can do with this. I know that I'm already looking at it and I'm thinking fall semester, I'm going to have it for every unit that I teach. I'm thinking for every unit, there's a different theme. So I'm going to create that virtual classroom. And as we go through the unit and we add more resources, I'll continuously update that. And if I share the file students view only, I can update it and have no worries about my students messing it up or just manipulating it in a way that I can't update it for them. So it shouldn't be a big deal, but you can just add this to your Google Classroom. If you add it in classwork as a material, and just make sure you click students can view file. Don't make a copy for them unless you want them to be able to have it on their own. Or, oh my gosh, as I'm saying that, at the end of a unit, could you give them a blank one like that? You have all the graphics in there, or they could build it themselves. Could they make their own interactive site about what they've already learned? Ooh, what an awesome idea. See, when you start looking at these things, these ideas, these little moments of inspiration just pop, 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 and it's a perfect time to think about it, expand. If you're not there right now to pop those ideas or think towards the fall semester, you're thinking right now, what am I doing Monday? Then what's one thing you could do with this on Monday? You could not even worry about embedding any resources in there. Could that just be an attention getter for your students? Maybe that's your background in your virtual platform. Maybe you just share your screen and that's what they see. You can ask them questions about it. They could write a story about it. Could you set the scene for your students to write a story? Could you set the scene for students to guess what they're about to start studying that day? So there, I feel like there's so many things that we could do with this. You could be the creator, or you can put this in your students' hands, have them be the content creators. If you have some awesome ideas, put them in the comments. Let's share. That's the whole point of these Friday sessions, is to go live, give you a little motivation, little inspiration, and then see what you can do with it. And maybe you can't use it yet. Maybe in a few days, maybe in a few months, maybe in a few semesters, you can use it. But the idea is planted there. So when you do have an idea, share it. Sharing is caring, right? Especially now, we can all use the support and the help and the cheer, the motivation and the inspiration that we can get right now. So, my friends, have an amazing weekend. We'll see you again next week. My friend Kelly Collar is going to be here sharing some inspiration for you, so you don't have to listen to me talk to myself online. All right, everybody, take care. Have an amazing weekend, and I can't wait to see you again next week.